Thank you so much for coming. I'm really excited for this. But, Dan, what are we doing? I thought the set was going to be better than this. This is the Shelley Ware. The Shelley Ware. She's on a bloody milk crate. Fix it! We need to fix it! Sorry, Shelley.
Sorry, Shelley.
That makes sense. How are you?
Shell, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. How have you been?
I've been great. Yourself?
Oh, never better.
Good.
Now, I want to talk to you about social media. I've found, and you've obviously taken the next step, has become such a toxic wasteland at the moment. People are saying things to people with no accountability, hiding behind an egg and a username that has 58 numbers in it, and they're saying things that they wouldn't say to people's face online, and it hurts.
Yeah.
Now, you've taken action with that. Can you talk me through exactly what it is?
Okay. So I had enough of writing, I've had enough. We need to do something about this.
Yeah.
So I'd had enough of that. So what I did was I got together with a girlfriend who is an associate professor, Kate Sear, and we sort of had a big talk about it, and I said, I need to do more about what's going on in this space. And she suggested writing a letter to the Attorney General, the Commonwealth Attorney General. And I thought,
What does that mean?
what does that mean? Like, how could I do that? Like, I'm a school teacher. How would I even write that? And she said that she would help me, and it evolved into this letter, not just from me, but from the two of us. So we ended up both being signatories to this letter, and we got 100 friends, close friends of all walks of life, from my friend who is a librarian, all the way through to judges and lawyers,
Yep.
and all in between.
Just a cross section,
complete cross section of people. And we sent the letter with some of the things that we would like to see for the safety of online users to Christian Porter himself.
So, talk me through the exact moment that happened where you went, like, I've had enough, or you know, because I think you and I we're friends. We follow each other on social media. We both see the stuff that we both cop, and quite often you're just like, oh, it's water off a duck's back, because there's so much of it, unfortunately. Yeah. But what was the one, because there must have been one that just, you went, nah, that's it, it's too much.
There was a young Sudanese player called Michael Frederick, playing for Fremantle, and I was embarrassed that I hadn't done enough to make this young man feel safe in his new country. Then we'd had weeks and weeks and weeks of it, and I think that COVID really brought out people's lack of character, to be honest. I think they found themselves with too much time on their hands.
Pulled a few weeds, didn't it?
Yeah, and there was a real spike in what was happening on social media. But when that happened to him, I was embarrassed that as an Australian, an Aboriginal Australian, I hadn't done anything to correct what was happening. So that actually was, I'd been talking about it a lot with Kate about writing the letter, and then I just went, you know what, that's it. I cannot even handle this. So I sat down and we wrote it and came together, and I wrote down the things that I wanted in the letter, and then she made it look like a lawyer's letter.
Yeah, nice little, nice wording. Like, no, these are the points. These are the points,
yeah. So that's how it evolved in the two of us doing it.
And I suppose that leads me to my next question. It's around Twitter. So obviously you're going to have different points of view on Twitter. And, you know, is Twitter now the place where we have those conversations and the arguments that may have happened in the front bar, or, you know, in the beer garden at a pub, where you have the difference of opinion? That seems to be, I guess, the place where those conversations are happening. But also, people aren't willing to, I guess, join in the dialogue. It's like, this is my point of view, and that's that. And this is my point of view, and that's that, and no one can ever find middle ground. Do you find that dangerous?
Yeah, it is dangerous if you're not listening. If you are engaging and want to engage with people in some sort of debate, then that's what it is. Like, you have to open your heart and open your mind to that conversation, because we learn from each other. And if you're blocking that sort of conversation, then you're never going to learn from people. Now, I can disagree with you, and then you can say something, and I might go, oh, hang on a minute. That's completely changed who I am. So if you personally choose not to take that information in, that can be dangerous to your development as a person.
Well, because I guess that's why you're a teacher, because you've just said that so much more succinctly than I tried to. Because I'm finding online people are so stuck in their ways that, like, the second someone says something that doesn't align with their view, be it right or wrong, it's like, nah, I'm not talking to you anymore, I'm disengaging with you. And I think we're losing a little bit of our ability to grow, as you said, and be challenged around our views, because people don't want to be challenged anymore.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Like, we need to listen to each other and be challenged, because you just can't. You can't grow as a person. You just stay with the same stereotypes, the same feelings, the same emotions. And I mean, nobody wants to be the same person you were,
20 years
ago, 10, not even an hour ago. I'm happy to learn and grow as a person continuously, and that's the way people should be.
I guess we've talked a lot about the way the algorithms and all this kind of stuff can adversely affect us. If they can adversely affect us because they're so, I guess, efficient, surely they can positively affect us and be a force of social good. Do you think that's the case?
Absolutely. I have a lot of joy on social media, and I even call my Twitter followers family, because you start to connect with people, you start to learn about their likes, what they're doing, and what's happening in their day, or if something special happens. So I have a lot of joy. It seems to be when these other users that are just purely there to spread hate pop in, but my followers, my Twitter family, are very quick to pull them out.
They go at them, do they?
They very much so are very protective, and I think that side of the community is pretty wonderful too. That you become friends with these people.
How does that make you feel when they jump in and support you?
Yeah, it makes me feel great. It makes me feel like there are true allies there that are wanting the best for us and wanting the better world for us and our kids. And
I agree with you. And then in this process, what's the thing that you've learnt like the most about sort of, I guess, not just going through a process of getting a petition together and sending it from the legal point of view, but also about the human psyche and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've learned that there are allies in all shapes and sizes and jobs and humans and whatever, that people they're coming together and they want a better life for us, and they just want all this to stop. They can see the wrong in it, and they know that it's, the fact that it's going on, and we hear people say this all the time, that can't be going on in 2020. It is going on in 2020.
We don't get to take the black off, it happens every day.
It happens every day, and the fact that more people in the Black Lives Matter movement has really made this. It's made people look at themselves. It's challenged people in the way that they think. So, it's going to be, I just think things are going to be different.
You touched on Black Lives Matter, and the thing that frustrated me the most about it, and you'll have your own thoughts on what I'm about to ask you them, was people coming up to me and going, this one feels different. So,
Did they?
Yeah, people were coming up to me, my friends, just because they, because it was a fever pitch. Like, that was probably the biggest marches we'd had. The world mobilised.
Yeah.
But what's changed?
Okay. So I've lived through two movements, being an old duck and all. There was the Me Too movement, so that changed my life completely. Mm-hmm. I went from being a woman who's going to speak up about something that's happening to me as a woman, like who would be hysterical, don't listen to her, she's just carrying on, as a woman does, to now, okay, sit down, we need to seriously hear what's happening, we will take action according to what you said. So I've seen that change in that movement. And in the Black Lives Matter movement, I have seen that there are more allies and people that are reviewing themselves, having a look at who they are as a person within their own stereotypes, standing up now for people and saying, and just checking on their own lives and going, hang on, I can actually provide an opportunity for somebody here that I haven't even thought about before, that I might be able to do for somebody. And I think people are checking themselves a lot more. And I hate the saying, we've just still got such a long way to go.
Are you about to say?
But in the Me Too movement, we saw change.
Yep.
And then we sort of moved on to something else. We have to keep focused on what's important. We want people to have equal opportunity and equity in their life. And that's important for whatever, diversity you have going on in your life. So we just have to keep check on it and make sure that we're still doing it.
And I think, just to kind of come back full circle, that's where social media can be so powerful for good.
Absolutely.
So many people learnt so much off the back of social media. And I suppose, had that video not been shared, Black Lives Matter would have happened, because
it was at a boiling point, definitely.
you know. So I guess that's where we saw it as a force for good.
Yeah, it sure is. It's a force for good. I mean, I've never watched that video. I didn't need to watch that video. I knew what came of it. You know, it spoke to many people that had suffered like that over the years. It just got to a boiling point where we said, as a whole entire, not just a country or a nation, it was the world that said, we are done. We are done with people feeling like this. We're done with people dying like this. And this is not right. And we know it. So let's do something about it.
On that note, Shelley, thank you.
Thank you.
I reckon we're done.